Hi everyone, it's me, Miss Branch, the art teacher, and I am here with another fun art night video. And today we're going to get to paint a popsicle with sunglasses. Now, we are all ready for spring break. We are all ready for warm weather. We are all ready to have fun in the sun. So, we're going to get to paint something to remind us that these fun days are on the way. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is change my pen, and then I will talk about the other things we need. So, let me change the pen to my table. And there is put in replace pen. There we go. All right, so we're going to paint a popsicle wearing sunglasses. And you have lots of choices. Now, in this one, I painted red and green because it's the colors of the watermelon. And I'm going to do that again because I have those colors on my plate. But you can draw one. We're going to draw some. So before we start painting, you can make one that's already got a bite taken out of it. You can make one that's wavy, like melting, or it's been dipped in something, like chocolate. I have some ideas for mouths, and we can talk about that when we get to that part. Or yours doesn't even have to have a mouth, like this one. So let me get started. Let me move the things out of the way, and we're going to talk about the supplies need. So right now, you should have a napkin. And you're going to need white, black, and this is a lot. You don't need this much. These actually could be smaller, but orange and brown, these we're going to have to mix together to make the popsicle stick the right shade of brown or tint of brown. Then you can pick any color for your background or any colors that you want for your popsicle. Now, you can even do like a triple popsicle, like three colors, or you can actually pick another color that you want your glasses. They don't have to be white like I did on this one. I just didn't paint them. I wanted them to be white glasses, sunglasses. So I didn't paint them. But if you want to change the color of your glasses, that's totally up to you. Now, you should also have a cup of water, a napkin. You should have two paintbrushes, one big and one small. And you may have an easel with your canvas board on it. Let me tilt this a little bit so you can see the canvas board. All right. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to draw our sunglasses together and then our popsicle, and then you can just do all the filling in and we'll paint together. All right. So I on the tables, you should have a Sharpie also. That was one of the other supplies. If you're Sharpie, these are from my Sharpie bin where I put all the ones that we've used. So some of them are still good, some of them are starting to dry out. Just get another one if it started to dry out. But somewhere in the middle of your board, near the top, but in the middle, we're going to start the sunglasses by making a little line. That's the part in the middle of the glasses that go over the bridge of the nose. Next, we're going to make a U. Now, sometimes it's easier for you to turn. And for those of you who find it easier, you can move the easel out of the way while you're drawing, and you can draw like that. Now, let me tilt this back since I took the easel out of the way and bring that closer. Let's see. There we go. Closer, closer, closer. Now, I'm gonna make a wide U. This one ended up being more of a square U when I made it. This one, I kind of made it more of a wide, rounded U, like I was starting to make a circle. But however you make it, it is fine because then they don't have to be the same size. Because as you can look on this side is smaller than this side, and then it'll be fine however you make it. The most important part is to have fun while we're doing this. So I'm going to make a U or a semicircle. And to make easier on me, plus Miss Branch is left-handed, and when I draw, my hand covers all the drawing. So I'm going to turn it this way so that you can still see me do it. And I'm going to make another wide U. And I'm going to turn it back. If I turn it this way, it kind of looks like a weird number 3. Anyway, so at the top of these U's over here that's not connected by this line, I'm going to put a C and we'll put a backward C. And again, I'm going to turn my hand to make sure my hand is not blocking the camera. Now we're going to bring the top of the glasses. And it's going to be like I'm going to start making a letter J, a lowercase j. And I'm going to come in, but I'm not going to make the whole loop. And I'm not going to touch that part. But it's okay if you do. And then I do another one. And all we have to do is now connect with a little line. Oh, I did do one with round glasses, so if you want to do round glasses, I probably should have painted the whole thing black. That way you wouldn't see the lines. But it's totally up to you. And this one has a more round head, top of the popsicle stick. But it's totally up to you how you want to make yours. Now, we're going to do little lenses inside the glasses. And we're going to make some more U's following the inside. But we're going to start at this top line because the lenses are pretty big. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to start and I'm going to follow the U. And again, I'm not going fast. I'm taking my time. And again, I'm going to turn it sideways. Always turn the paper and make it easy for you. Let's see, it's up here more. So I'm going to come on this side and go this way. And now I'm going to go ahead and just connect with a curved line. And connect with a curved line. And there I have my glasses. I'm going to raise the camera up just a little bit. All right, so now we're going to make the top of the popsicle. Now, it is your choice. This one's more kind of a curving square and nope, curving square. And this one I decided to take a bite out of it. So as I did the curving square, I stopped. Then I did 3 wavy lines and came back down. And then I did the same 3 wavy lines again. So it gave it a 3-dimensional look to it. And again, it's okay if your glasses did not come out the same size. As you can see, these are not the same size. All right. So I'm just going to do a simple curve. Oh, yeah. And then I also have this one where the top is more rounded. So it's totally up to you how the top goes. But I'm going to come in just a little bit so to make the glasses bigger than the popsicle. And I'm going to curve and then come back down. So there's the top. And now I'm going to pretend like this line goes all the way through. And so I know it'll start there. And this line goes all the way through. And I know it's going to start there. And I'm just going to make 2 lines down the sides. And the bottom, I curved it. I curved it a lot on this one. But on this one, I kind of made it more straight. But it's totally up to you. There's no wrong way to do this. So all I'm going to do is just kind of connect with the curve line. And it's okay if it's not straight, because you can see that one did not, it came up a little bit. And it is totally fine if that happens. So next, I'm going to make the stick. And to make the stick, it's going to be a long, skinny U. But what I'm going to do is make the number 11. So I'm going to come here in the middle. I'm going to make a 1 and skip a little space and a 1. And then I'm going to connect with a little curve like a C or a U. And there we have our basic popsicle shape. And it's okay if it's not straight. It's okay if you think, oh man, I messed up. There's no mess up because popsicles come in all different sizes and flavors, and it's going to be fine however you do it. So now let's go ahead and paint our stick because that's a color that you have to mix. And so we should do that together. So now what I'm going to do, I have my orange and I have my brown. I'm going to scoop up a little bit of orange and I'm going to scoop up a little bit of brown and I'm going to mix those two. It makes the brown a lot lighter. I think I might need a little bit more just in case because a lot of it's getting into the bristles of my brush. Now that I made this brown a little lighter, I'm going to scoop just a little bit of white and mix that in. And now I've got popsicle stick color. So now I can go and paint my popsicle stick. Now, one thing about painting, I'm going to bring this in. As long as you paint soft, the paint will go. But as you can see, some of the paint got pushed up into the bristles because I was painting a little hard. So I'm just going to go ahead and just tap my paper and gently bring that in. There we go. I have my popsicle stick painted. And now I'm going to raise up so that we can see the whole thing. And let's see. I'm going to go ahead and rinse that brown out of my bristles. I probably put too much water in here. This branch normally only gives a very little bit of water. Because if we accidentally spill it over, then we don't have that much to clean up. And that's why I'm holding this cup while I'm rinsing off my bristles. Now notice I'm not tapping. Never tap because there'll probably be some paint still in the bristles. And if you tap, it'll splash and get everywhere. Now, one way to make sure that your brush is clean is to use your napkin as a blotter. A blotter is a tool that artists use to make sure that there's no more paint. And as you can see, it's fairly clean. I can see like a little tint. I'm gonna rinse one more time. There, now my bristles are clean, and I'm gonna put my cup back in the safe area. Now, I am gonna just paint this the regular green and red like I did on this one. Now, if you want to put some watermelon seeds in, you can paint those in, or you can go back and put your marker and draw some watermelon seeds. That's totally up to you if that's what you want to do. So what I'm going to do now is get a little bit of green, and I'm just going to paint the bottom. And again, I'm not painting hard. I'm not pressing down hard with the bristles because that pushes the paint up into the ferrule, which is this piece of metal that holds the bristles in place. And so there'll be more paint in the bristles than on your paper on your canvas. I almost said paper. So now I'm just taking my time, pick up a little more paint. There we go. And again, my next step is to rinse out my bristles. And again, swishing it around, wiping the extra water off, blotting. Make sure I got it pretty clean. I can still see a little green, so I'm gonna swish some more. White, blot. All right, and put my cup back into a safe area. Now I'm going to paint the rest of my watermelon in watermelons kind of are like this bright red, and it's not exactly like strawberry red. It's a little paler. So what I can do, I'm going to pick up a little bit of white paint. Now I'm not going to pick up enough white paint to turn it pink. I'm just going to make it a lighter red. So don't pick up too much that it turns pink. If it turns pink, add more red into that you're making. So I'm making a lighter, more watermelon in color. But I still got some regular red right there. And now I'm going to smush this again because still saw some of the white paint. And I'm just going to take my time again. Ooh, I'm supposed to be painting on the easel. I forgot. Let me get the easel. All right, let me get the easel back. And let me tilt my camera. There we go. And so now I'm just going to put some of that extra right there in the middle. That's just a style I paint. And then I can just dip my brush in it and just go slow. If I drag the brush slow, it makes a straight line. And as long as I don't drag it hard, and if it starts to run out, I can just pick up some more from the middle. And I'm just going to go slow. But you can paint your style. This is just one of the techniques I've learned over the years through trial and error. And again. And right here, this little area, I'm afraid this brush might be a little big. So that's when I switch to my smaller brush. And I still got a lot of paint right there. So I'm just going to pick some up right there. And I can fit it in that small area. And as a matter of fact, since I have it, I'm just going to go ahead and paint a little bit in these little corners where I need to get into a small area. Now you can always turn your big brush sideways. Like if I do this one sideways, I can carefully get close. And I can just get all that extra out of the bristles. And I'm just going to get close. And again, slowly dragging the brush will make straight lines. And just take your time, no rush. And so there we go. And I'm gonna come down on the side. And there's a little dot there, little dot there. Now, of course, you're painting on the colors that you chose to paint your watermelon, your popsicle. I decided to make a watermelon flavored popsicle. Ah, all right. So now I'm going to go ahead and rinse off both of these bristles. Again, I'm going to hold my cup while I do this so I don't accidentally knock it over. And again, I'm blotting. See, when I got there, I blotted. There's a little bit of red paint right there. So I know I'm going to rinse again. Much better. And now I'm going to rinse this one off. White. Oh, when I'm wiping, I see all that paint still coming out. So I know to keep rinsing. White. Up, still more paint. Keep rinsing. And I can blot. Oh, I can still see a lot of paint right there. So rinse again. There we go. Much better. So now I'm going to do the inside of the glasses. And I'm going to just go ahead and do those black because they're shades. I'm just going to pick up a little bit of black. And again, I'm going to just take my time and drag the brush slowly. And I can get stay in the line. Don't press down too hard. Slowly. And notice the paint is not getting all the way up in the tip because I'm dragging it slowly. I'm not pressing down hard. And if you go out of the line like I just did right there, it's fine. I'm going to go ahead and pick up a little bit more black paint. Again, drag softly and slowly. And if this brush is too big for you, you can always switch back to your smaller brush because I did go out the line again. You pick up a little black paint. And anywhere where I see where it's kind of thick, I'm just going to spread it a little. Help it dry faster. And while I have this, if I want to add some seeds, I can. Oh, we could add the mouth. I should do the mouth. Well, I didn't have a mouth on this one. But if you wanted a mouth, you could do that. Let's say, since I have that there, I'm going to go ahead and paint a mouth. I'm going to make that part of the mouth. And a curve for a tongue. Well, you know what? I'm going to give it some little cheeks. Again, I'm going to take my time. Cool. Now, like I said, last time I did not paint my sunglasses, but I think I'll paint them this time. But before I can do that, of course, I must rinse out my bristles. Mm. Now, and I blot. As you can see, no paint is on there. Let's see. Now, I did pick out some pink for my background. So I'm going to do my whole background. But, you know, since I still have some orange here, I'll just paint them orange. Wait. I'm going to use a small brush. And I'm going to take my time. I'm going to put some of that extra paint that's on the bristles in these little areas so I don't have to, I can just dip into those. And again, I'm just taking my time, not pressing hard. You got to paint gently. The softer you paint, the easier the paint spreads. When you're painting hard and pressing down, the paint goes all in the bristles, not on your paper or your canvas, whatever you're painting on. So definitely take your time. Get a little more on this side. I can see I dipped into that little bit of wet black paint, but it's fine. And now I can use this that I put over here. Oh, I gotta get a little more paint. Now, if you want, when we get started on the background, to paint other things in the background, that's pretty fine. If you want to like put the sun in there, says we're waiting for nice, warm, sunny days, or if you want to put some clouds or just anything else in the background, you're welcome to do that. But for me, I think I'm just gonna paint one solid color. Ooh, let me do some advanced stuff because some of y'all are pretty advanced. Like, let me add in some highlights and some shadows, like I did on this one. I actually darkened one side a little bit, and I added some highlights with the white. So let me do that for you guys. Let me show you. So of course I've rinsed out my brush. I'm still with my small brush, and I'm just going to pick up a little bit of white. Um, let's see. I think the black should be a little dry now, so I'm just going to put a little. And if it isn't dry, just come back to it a little later. I'm just going to put a little more white paint on there because I put some wet. The black was still a little wet there. And I said I'm going to pick up some little bit of white, and I'm just going to blend that in with that little red that was still a little wet. And you may want to rinse your brush because I probably had a little bit of black still on that brush, but that's totally fine. Now, to make this side a little darker, I'm just going to, well, of course, rinse. And this melon color that I made, I'm just going to go ahead and, oop, I didn't blot, and I still got some white paint on there. Oops. That's why I always check, but I forgot to check that time. All right. So I'm going to pick up the tiniest little bit of black. It's still probably a lot of black. And I'm going to mix that in with this melon color. And as you can see, it's getting a little darker. I'm just going to paint a little shadow on that side. If it got too dark, then you can always just go back in with some of your melon color or some white and lighten it up. I think it works out perfectly. Now I'm going to do the same thing with my green. And see, look, still got some paint. So rinse, rinse, rinse. Yep. I'm going to pick up just the tiniest little bit and pick up some green and mix them. And there I got my green a little darker. And I'm just going to put a little darker green on one side and kind of blend that in. Oh, and I'm going to create a shadow underneath the popsicle stick. Now it looks like because I started with the brown, it looks like it's dry, but let me add a little water. This is acrylic paint, so once it dries, it's pretty much done, unless it's still a little wet in some areas. So I'm just going to make some more brown, get some orange, make some regular brown. I'm not even going to make that lighter because I'm going to make this a shadow. So I'm just going to paint a little bit right there at the top and make it look like this shadow from the overhang of the popsicle stick. So now I've added in a few little details and made some highlights and some shading. Not much. And of course I'm going to rinse my brush out. And just because I know me and probably it's easier, I'm going to go ahead and paint my background, but I'm going to put a little line with the small brush of my pink paint. Do I want to do a background? I say I could make a sun, could do something, but I know my video is starting to get a little long and you're probably having to pause and everything. So I'm just going to go ahead and take some pink and gently, again, drag slowly. And then I can put a line around my popsicle. And then I don't have to worry about when I use the bigger brush getting paint on the popsicle. And just do a little line around. And I'm going to come this way. And come down. There was a little water on my canvas, which is fine because acrylic paint does mix with water. I think when I was swishing the brush around, must have splashed a little, which is perfectly fine. All right. As I am gently coming around, make sure I do not. I got a little bit on the black pink, but it's fine. And just taking my time. And again, if you drag slowly, you can make straight lines. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this brush in my water. I'm going to get my bigger brush, and then I can comfortably paint around my popsicle stick and not worry if I'm going to get paint in the middle of the stick. As long as I go slow. If I'm trying to go real fast, I might make a mistake. So I'm still going to take my time. Hmm. All right, almost done. If you need to, you can always turn your painting sideways or upside down if it's easier for you to paint. Paint the sides just a little bit, just in case, you know, you're not going to frame it later. There. And my last step, oop, what is that? That's some dried paint. And my last step is to clean up my bristles. And then we have a fun, let's get ready for the sun in the shade and the warmth and the fun popsicles to eat. Yeah. Let me switch my pen. So everyone, we just did a fun popsicle stick in the sun. Well, looking forward to the sunny days because it got cold again. And it looks like it might not be that warm during spring break, but we get to have spring break, everyone. So I will see you in the next video. Bye.